Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here once again to talk about Paranormal Activity. Next of Kin. I forgot about what it was called for a second because I would call this movie something completely different, which will become very apparent as this review goes on. Because I saw this trailer and, okay, I should start off the history of the series. This series sucks. It's trash. It's another shitty modern horror series that's not scary. It's just a jump scare filled fest of shit and complete garbage writing, complete garbage acting, complete garbage everything. It's just a cheap way to, make a horror movie and release it and make money. And there's really no clever anything behind it. And with this movie, I thought maybe it would be funny. Because with the first one, I watched that. There was no way I was watching. I only watched the first and I think the third one. Because I think the third one was like an origin story for the first one. So those were the only two that I've seen. Because I'm not going to waste my time watching these terrible modern horror movies. So, but I saw this trailer and thought that this would be like a funny, laugh out loud piece of shit movie. Because you watch the trailer, there's like this hilarious scene where there's just randomly this old lady peeling her hand. Well, she has a potato in her hand. It's just hilarious. She's staring off into space, and it's like, ooh, look, it's scary. And and I was really excited for the Amish setting because horror movies, they need more settings. They need more like unique settings that evoke a sense of emotion. Like I was reading a short story recently, well, a collection of short stories by R.L. Stine. And one of them took place at this bird lodge. And it was this lodge that just all it had to do with was birds. They had all these bird statues. All the people had bird names. The people who worked there. There was all these bird... Everything had to do with birds. And that evoked like a very strong emotion in me of like... It was just weird. It was curious. It was weird. It was bizarre. And it really, I really liked that short story. And I remember it because of that really unique setting. And so I was really excited, regardless, to see a horror movie in an Amish type of community. And other than that, I had no expectations. I knew it was going to be garbage, though. And what happened was the movie was totally boring. It was boring, bland, lifeless, and completely cliched. I mean, let's just, name all the cliches. The car won't start like 5,000 times. Like, seriously, they have to go restart the car about millions of times because it doesn't work for some reason. For some reason or another, that the person trips. So many cliches, so many. The bad people leave, and then the good people go investigate some hidden area while the bad people are away. Just all these cliches we've seen a million times. And for what? For the shitty, boring story that really is like a basic bitch type of Tumblr story at best. I mean, the story is so bare and so minimum that it really, it didn't even need a full movie. It could have just been an anthology segment. That's how bad it was. And it was just, at the end of the day, it was just boring. Like, overall, it was just completely, I was like, 5 more minutes of this, 10 more minutes of this, 20 more. Like, I was in pain watching this boring ass movie. It was not scary at all. They had the typical jump scares that aren't scary, where they have loud noise, loud noise, loud noise. It's like, that's not scary at all. Like, you really don't know what horror is, do you? And the villains in this movie, uh, they're not very good. The main characters are fine. You know, I will say I like the main characters okay. Like, they each are pretty uh, unique in a way. They're badly written though, so this whole movie's badly written. It's completely one note and one dimensional, and it really doesn't have any extra layers to it at all. And I think that that's something that I notice with all movies coming out today, is that you watch them and then you forget about them because they're so one dimensional and basic. They don't have anything else going on besides this bare bones story. Girl go to place. Place bad. People bad. That's the extent of this movie's story and this movie's writing. And the look of it was even worse because they made this movie, all the other Paranormal Activities, they look like home videos. They don't look very polished. They look dirty. They look like, ugh, I'm looking at someone's private video. But this one, it has a very polished look to it. And I will say, I like some of the shots. You know, it was well shot, I guess, if you want to call that some sort of a good thing to say about, like, a movie nowadays. Like, if your movie doesn't look good, then you should just go jump off a cliff, because that's, like, the most easy thing to do in cinema history. I mean, I could do that with my fucking two fingers, putting them together, making a fucking camera, and just pointing and saying, look, everybody, it's cinema. Especially nowadays when you have art house porn movies where you literally just have like a shot of the sky and people are like, oh, I'm coming. Oh, that's going to win all kinds of awards. Like, that's the extent of cinema nowadays. In terms of depth, too, like, there's no depth to cinema anymore. And this Paranormal Activity might as well be called, you know, a sleepy time, snoozy time activity, because I just wanted to fall asleep the entire film. They were really pretentious with the look of this film, because at certain points they had this really bad slow motion. I'm talking about, and now I'm not spoiling anything, I'm just kind of like laying out some generic kind of like hints at things. But at one point they're being chased by something, and you'd think that, you know, a chase is a chase. You know, a chase is a very scary thing. It's a very scary, it's one of my fears. I mean, I've had plenty of dreams where I've been chased by someone. Like, there was one dream I had as a kid that was really impressionable where I was in this tunnel made out of cardboard boxes, like cut and taped together, like just like this ugly cardboard tunnels. And I was being chased by like a man in like dark clothing and a dark cap on. And, you know, he was like a serial killer or something. It was intense. And I still remember it because that's how scary being chased is. Well, in this film, you have the cameraman turning around to look at the bad guy so that we can get a slow motion action shot of the bad guy going, I mean, what the fuck is that? Like, you're doing slow motion while someone's being chased to their death? Like, or you know, I'm not spoiling. I promise, I'm not spoiling anything. You know, you expected for some sort of action in a Paranormal Activity movie, hopefully. Hardly anything happens the whole movie, too. You know, that's another thing. So it seems like they really wanted to overdo it with the, you know, slow motion, making everything look so polished. And, you know, part of, you know, let's talk about what was really good about the movie, because that's what really worked. The main woman, Margot, she was, wow. That's all I have to say. Margot in Paranormal Activity, Next of Kin, Uh, wow. I mean, she had probably one of the best booties that I've ever seen in cinema this year. And they show it so many times, it's not even funny, especially in the final chase, or one of the final chases, I guess. You know, this movie's so muddled, I can't remember. This stupid movie. But the cameraman is literally just pointing the camera at her ass while she's running, while they're running away from something, and it's hilarious. It's like you're running away from someone. And it's just literally her ass is like almost in the entire frame on screen, and oh wow. That was cinema for sure. I mean, I would have loved to have seen that in 3D IMAX so that I could get the full extent. And I mean, okay, I'm gonna rate this piece of shit movie because we gotta talk about that booty that Margot had in this movie. That booty was legendary. That was the best part about this movie. We never got to see it for real. We did get to see it like pretty close. And it's really unfortunate that nowadays, movies cannot have sex. Horror movies especially, they cannot have sex. They cannot have nudity because nudity is sexist nowadays, because we're reverting. We're going backwards. We're going to the 1200s where, you have to cover up because we can't sexualize anyone, even though you got all these fucking superhero movies with all the male characters taking their shirts off all the time. And it's like, nobody cares about that and about how, like, objectifying that is. But then they care when I talk about how this character had an amazing ass, and it was phenomenal. It was the best part of the movie. And it was a character within itself. So I'm gonna rate this film now, and it's tough because I'd like to give this movie just like a giant slab of cake, because that's what Margot had in this movie. I mean, she just had like a huge, gigantic piece of chocolate cake that you just and you just choke on the cake because there's just so much of it. It's just not even. It's unbelievable. But I'm going to have to just rate this movie not based on my bias and based on, like, the greatest part of it, objectively and subjectively. This movie, even though I can't wait to get the spoilers, because we got a lot to talk about with this movie. Very important stuff regarding cinema. I give this movie, Amish people, don't they eat porridge? In this movie, they eat Fruit Loops. Especially Margot does. She ate a lot of them Fruit Loops. And she loved them Fruit Loops. Well, okay, I don't want to get really weird. But I would rate this movie a bowl of porridge with no sugar and no milk. I mean, that's what this movie was. It was shitty. It was garbage. It was exactly what I expected. But you know what? It was even worse than I expected, because I thought maybe this will be entertaining. Maybe it'll be funny. And maybe it'll be like so bad that it's good. But it really was not good at all. Like, it was just so boring and so one-dimensional that I couldn't really find anything to enjoy besides that tremendous booty that Margot had. I mean, let's talk about, it was so nice. Oh my God. At the beginning of the movie, she's going in the bathroom, and then there's this, like, stupid-ass jump scare where the window's open, and there's this little boy peeking in the window, and he's a little Amish boy. And it's like, you know what he was looking for. He was waiting to see that. He was waiting to see her booty. I mean, he was just waiting for that. He wanted to see them white chocolate cheeks. He wanted to see that. I mean, that's what he was waiting for. And then they took him back to the Amish farm, and for that they got to stay. And then some part through the movie, they find out basically, well, uh, she finds out they've been staking her out for a long time. They've been just waiting for her, for the perfect moment to get her ass over there. And, I don't blame them. I mean, they probably saw that ass and just had to have her come there to this farm. Because there's this demon. It turns out the whole plot is about a demon, of course. And it's a non-threatening demon. It's a very little bitchy demon who, apparently just trash. Ugh. When you think about the bad writing with this movie, it gives you a headache because of how stupid it is. Basically, the plot is that this community possessed the demon inside this woman, and then the woman is getting so old while they're feeding her goats, and they're keeping this demon underneath this community, basically, so it doesn't run around killing people. And basically, the woman is getting so old that they thought, hey, let's get her daughter so that we can possess the demon into her. And then her mom can just die. That's the plot. The demon really wanted to possess that booty of Margot's. I don't blame him. I mean, when you see that on full screen, oh my god. It is perfect. I mean, it is so defined. It is so perfectly shaped and perfectly... Oh my god. It's so perfect that it is in the middle of the night while she's wearing black pants. And you can still make out the curves. You can still make out what it looks like. It is so phenomenal. It is just... Oh! I mean, I am just tempted to get a screenshot of that bitch and just put it on here to show everyone, because that was the best part. Just the whole movie. Just cut out the rest of the movie. Just show that the entire movie, and people will be satisfied. They will pay money to see that, because this story was trash. I mean, the ending was trash. The story was trash. The characters were trash. But that booty was just... I mean, it was just so perfect. It was so, like, unexpected that, like, they're in the middle of this chase sequence, and then she just runs in front of the camera, and they have this beautiful low perspective shot of it, and it's just like, oh, wow. I mean, of course the demon's chasing after her. I mean, who wouldn't chase after that? I mean, that demon wanted some tail. He wanted some cake. And, they just fed him goat all these years. No wonder he wanted some cake. He wanted some dessert. I mean, why can't he get some dessert? So that was the best part of this movie. Paranormal Activity, Next of Kin. What a trash piece of shit movie. The only thing good about the movie was that booty. And I can't wait to see more of this actress. I cannot wait. Just put her in everything. And just do this over and over and over and over again, because that is the new star of cinema. I mean, remember how people said, this girl, she looks a lot like Julia Fox, who was in Uncut Gems. She had a big ass too. But Julia Fox's ass, it was so big that people thought that it was fake. Well, this girl's, her ass is just perfectly like in between, where... you can tell that it's real, and, there's no suspicion of plastic surgery. And so, you can tell that is a real work of nature, a work of art. And that is that's what we want to see on screen in cinema. And it was just perfect. It was like, wow. I am so glad I watched this movie just for that. Just to see that wonderful, amazing cake on screen. I mean, they had it to where the leader of the group, this old man leader, they were like, he's got a crush on you. And it's like, yeah, no wonder. He's watching her walk away. He's seeing that ass, who the fuck wouldn't? I mean, these two guys, she's with these two guys. They don't even ever try to have sex with her. I mean, they're so, I mean, what a couple of betas. I mean, they're making this boring documentary about an Amish farm, Amish people. It's like, yeah, Amish people are really cool. I stayed in an Amish community in Ohio, and it was really cool actually. It was probably one of my favorite vacation experiences. But if I had a girl with me who looked like Margot with cake like that, I would just be running around with a fork just waiting to just get a slice and just, I mean, come on. I mean, come on. So overall, I can't wait for this stupid ass bullshit modern horror series to end, and just give this actress more movies, okay? I will personally pay for. I will seriously. I will see every movie she does, just for that cake that they showed in this film. I mean, they really didn't shy away. I mean, they just focused on it. I mean, the cinematographer, he must have been just watching her walk around on set, and he must have been like, you know what? I've got a good idea. It's for the movie. It's real. It's realistic experience. It's immersive. And it's just full of cake and full of, wow, white chocolate, just completely, probably some of the greatest cinema ever created. And, other than that, this movie's completely garbage, and it's completely forgettable trash. I mean, if you want to go watch a good found footage movie, go watch Grave Encounters, or go make one yourself. Find the actress who made this movie and make one with her, and do what you gotta do, and make cinema. Instead of Paranormal Activity, call it Cake Activity. Call it baking cake with the actress from Paranormal Activity next of kin, and there will be a next of kin after making the movie. So, and I'm sorry that I just talked all about that, but I couldn't resist. I mean, there's literally nothing else about this movie redeeming except for that booty. I mean, that booty was just like, oh my god. I mean, those Amish people, they were gonna put a demon in that? I mean, what a terrible group of people. But the thing is that the movie actually makes it like they had a point. Like, oh, look. I mean, that's another thing I didn't talk about, was that these characters were stupid as hell. Like, at the end, they're literally warning these people, no, stop, you don't want to let the demon out. And the woman doing the ritual underground, they had like a witch helping them. She had a salt boundary, and this bitch broke the salt boundary. And like, you don't do that. Salt protects from demons and evil spirits. Salt is critical. When you do magic, you do rituals, you gotta have a salt layer so you don't get attacked. And these bitches just fucking screw that up. Like, why are you doing that? This is not gonna help anyone. And guess what happens? The movie ends on a Debbie Downer ending where, of course, everyone gets killed. Typical found footage bullshit. Margot gets killed. That booty's gone forever. They killed the booty, and they killed me too, because that's just sad. Why would you kill that? Why would you kill that literally? You want to kill it figuratively, but why'd you want to kill that literally? And the movie ends with the demon possessing this random Amish guy, and then he kills 2 police officers and uses their car to drive off. I mean, what a stupid ending. But I will say once again, I liked how the movie was shot, even though it looks so contrived and so just unbelievable. Like, no one would believe this is a found footage on YouTube. Like, I've seen so many great videos on YouTube of people actually going to like abandoned places, and they have these really scary things happening to them. And probably most of them are fake, but they're actually better found footage movies than any of these found footage movies coming out from Hollywood. and they don't even have the booty. I mean, they don't even have any sort of like star like that. Like this girl, she is an upcoming star. You know, you need to watch out for her. You know, just let her walk in front of you, and just let her soar to the sky, and let's have her become a star. She can win an Oscar. They can create a new category, best booty category, and she will win that bitch, and it'll just be just one giant slice of cake, covered in gold is the award. And so that will be glorious. And I could have gotten a lot weirder too, because let me tell you something. That was so unexpected. When something unexpected like that happens, it just opens up a whole world of imagination to you. Because, you know, normally in a movie like this, especially a 2021 movie, you wouldn't expect to have any sexuality or anything. You know, you just expect to have all these women who act and look like men. You'd expect all these men who act and look like women. And the movie would have no sexuality whatsoever. But this movie decided to have a little bit, a lot of it actually, just a big hulking booty on screen, just filling up the entire. I mean, you could make this screen, you could just stretch this screen out just as big as possible, and that thing would still be just filling up the entire screen. And just, wow, that was phenomenal. That was just so good. I might watch it again. You know what? I will. On Halloween, I'm going to watch this again in the dark, in the lights off, in my room, you know, naked, eating a bowl of popcorn, letting all the popcorn just spill out all over my bare chest. That is what you call a sexy movie viewing experience. Have you ever done that? You just get a big bowl of popcorn while you watch a movie like this. It is the perfect experience, and, you know, it helps to also have the lights off and have your door locked. Probably add like 10 extra locks before you do it too, before you watch this cinema. You know, grab some Twizzlers, grab some Twinkies, grab whatever food you like. I don't like those. I was just naming foods. Like, I would say probably my favorite movie snack. Well, honestly, like, could you... Oh, I'm not going to go there. That'd be too weird. I I hope this review doesn't damage me too much. It doesn't make me look too bad, but it just... There's nothing else to talk about with this piece of shit movie. Like, this is so much more fun to talk about. Just talking about those cheeks, talking about that. I mean, she must work out quite a bit. She must eat healthy. She's a goddess. And this movie just opened it all up. It just completely exploded. Well, okay, it didn't really explode, but I didn't either. But the movie just... Okay, I'm done now. Please like this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, comment. Tell me what you thought about Margot's booty. I mean, that was the best thing about the film, by far. I mean, just thinking about how it was so perfectly shaped. It was so it was perfectly thick. It was like, oh my God. Just, those Amish people, they picked the right one. I mean, they staked her out. They followed her. They spied on her. They waited for the perfect moment. Then they snatched her up and brought her over there. And then she dies. I mean, what the fuck? What a stupid ending. And let me tell you something, too. I'm so sick of found footage movies where everyone dies. Like, can we not? Like, that's so cliche. That's why I really liked As Above, So Below, because in that movie, only a couple of the characters died, and 3 of them survived, including... One of them was the black guy, and I'm saying that because usually in horror movies, the black characters get killed. But they had this black character, and he was so low-key throughout the whole movie. But he actually survived because he was smart, like the other main characters. And so I really like that in As Above, So Below, you know, smart makes you survive. You know, being smart. And they made all the characters pretty smart, actually. I mean, they weren't really that stupid. And I hate in horror movies, too, how stupid they make the characters. Like this movie, the characters were just. They might as well have been, have like IQs of like about 15. Like they were that dumb. They literally just. I mean, they didn't take a hint either. I mean, they didn't have any sort of like. They're so stupid, God. But at least that booty wasn't stupid. I hope in the next one, there's one coming out next year. I don't know why. We don't need any more Paranormal Activities. This was a good grand finale. It gave me what I wanted. And that's about all I can ask for. So, I'm still going. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.